Hey guys, it's Doshi. Um, Sorry for the delay in videos. Um, a lot of stuff has transpired over the last few weeks, so I haven't been able to be consistent with my content in that regard. And for that, I apologize for those of y'all who've been waiting on the topics that I spoke about on my IG story. I want to apologize also for talking slow. If a few of you have watched my old video, one of my very first videos on anxiety, you already know what's kind of going on right now. And I'm also talking a little bit slow in regards to my topic today, which is grief. We're going to be addressing that, so just buckle your seatbelts. Not that it's going to be a crazy ride. Well, maybe it will be emotionally for me. But anyway, let's get started. So, I have suffered much grief over the last few years. As of late, maybe the last 3 years to be more specific. I suffered 3 miscarriages, one of which, I was going to say one of which traumatic, but then I thought all of them have been traumatic. The first 2 was very traumatic for me. The third one, I tried to self-medicate and kind of like drown out the entire process with drinking and other stuff. And then right after that, I entered into the season I'm in now, which is this divorce process. So I haven't really had a chance or opportunity to grieve that pregnancy loss as much as I would have liked to. So another thing I want to address when it comes to grief is not just the loss of something, or should I say it's not just the loss of somebody physically from this earth. Grief can be found in many forms. For example, I'm grieving the loss of my marriage. And it sucks. It actually is worse than sucks. If I'm going to be completely honest, what divorce is for me, it feels like the literal it feels like I'm actually going back and forth on whether I should post this or not. I'm a very transparent person. If you know me personally, I share stuff like this all the time, but it's a different ball game when it's out there on social media. But I know this process that I'm going through is not just affecting me. I know there's a lot of people who have gone through what I've gone through or are currently going through what I'm going through, and it's encouraging to know that they're not alone. So I will be posting it, but it will be extremely hard. So what I was going to say was, for me, divorce is like the literal tearing of my flesh from my body. That's what it feels like. And I guess like scripturally, when you get married, you become one. So it's no surprise that it would feel this way. I can't explain it as much as I actually feel it, but it hurts. Even though I'm very optimistic and I believe God will still have the final say and He will still He will still guide me through this process. It doesn't hurt any less. I can't even say at this point, some days it hurts worse than others. Some days you just try not to think about it. But this process has been really hard. In some ways it's gotten ugly. And in the back of my mind, just like everything with my miscarriages, I have to trust and believe that God's going to make this work together for His glory. I am confident without a shadow of a doubt, had I not went through my miscarriages, there's no way that I would be able to survive this process, because it's definitely the hardest thing I've ever went through in my entire life. You get married and you think you're going to spend the rest of life with somebody, and then life changes. So yeah, it's hard. But the reason why I want to talk about grief is because through this process, even though I don't want to grieve the loss of my marriage, for my mental health, I have to. With my third pregnancy, I didn't want to grieve the loss of my child. But it opened doors and avenues to things that never would have taken place if I never would have just addressed my pain. So I want to shine light on the topic of grief, because I think a lot of people suppress their emotions because they don't want to go through it. And I know it sucks. There's probably people out there who are going through worse than what I am. But if you find yourself in a situation that's painful and hurts, give yourself time to grieve it, to process it so you can heal from it, to learn from it, and to grow from it. There's so much I want to say, but my mind's kind of all over the place, so I apologize. But if you're listening to this message and you've experienced a physical loss of your child, a family member, a loved one, your marriage, even grieving the person that you once used to be, and finding out and realizing that you're becoming a completely, totally different person in order of means of survival to get you through the next season. As much as this process hurts, it's okay. And though this is a cliche statement, I'm saying this because not only do I believe it, and sometimes I struggle to believe it, but this is also me declaring it. Because the Word of God says there's life and death in the power of the tongue. We will make it. We will get through it. And we'll become stronger for it. And if you have the courage and the tenacity, speak about your grief to other people, because there's so many people suffering in silence. And the whole purpose of my Tuesday talks is to break those barriers and to get to know me a little bit more, but to break those barriers on controversial topics that people don't talk about, more specifically people in my community, the Black community. There's certain stuff that we don't address. So I put myself on the front line to talk about certain things because I believe it's needed in our culture and in our world. And as I said before, I don't want to get it twisted with my Instagram content or the beautiful pictures that I take. A beautiful picture is not a representation of what I'm going through in life currently. And that's one of the primary reasons why I made my Tuesday talks. So thank you all for joining in this heavy topic. I will try my best to be consistent. To be honest, I haven't been able to be consistent because my life turned upside down, but I'll address how that happened in a much later video. I'm just not ready to talk about that just yet. But please keep me in your prayers. Encourage one another, love one another. Continue to ask God for compassion and love and genuineness. And I will talk to you all next week. Bye.